Dennis, how important is it for people to have clarity in their life?
How important is it for people to have clarity in their life? You know, it's absolutely critical. I have a couple illustrations. The first one can be likened to, let's say you're feeling physical symptoms towards a sickness or a pain, some kind of issues going on, and you don't know what it is. Have you ever experienced that? You know, you're on the internet, you're searching, and you're trying to figure it out. So you have the pain of it, and then you have the uncertainty with it and the lack of clarity. But then you end up going to the doctor. The doctor gets to the root of what's going on, tells you about a medication or a treatment plan, and immediately, upon receiving clarity, you start feeling better before leaving the doctor's office. Here's another example. Let's say you have this job and you were given a job description that's not very clear, or no job description. And next thing you know, assignments are being slipped onto your plate. There's no clear processes, no real handbook. You don't know who really your boss is. And then your success or failure is based on the emotions of your boss day to day. It's not a good situation, not being clear on what you're supposed to do and not getting the training needed in order to do it. And you don't know if you're succeeding or failing. But with a clear job description, with a clear evaluation that's congruent to that job description, you know when you start and your supervisor ends. You know when to come to work, when you're off, what your job is, and what your job isn't. And you're actually able to have the clarity on what you're supposed to be doing. And then you don't need any help knowing whether you're succeeding or failing. That's the power of clarity, and it's critical. And the same goes with our mental health. You know, you might be experiencing some anxiety or stress or panic or insecurity or confusion, and you're trying to figure it out, and you're trying to work things out in these relationships, wrapping your head up against the wall like on a hamster wheel. But seeing a good counselor, you can get to the root cause and get the clarity and start feeling better, because you'll know what you're supposed to be doing in order to get the relief and what not to do in things that aren't working. And learning that, hey, we don't do things that don't work. And you'll be done with the stress, the anxiety, the confusion, and the insecurity, and you'll have clarity on the steps needed to take in order to get yourself out of that mental tension. Clarity is critical for a human being.
Dennis, when you were speaking about addictions, you mentioned the brain, and that part of the brain where the addictions seem to be stuck to or stuck in. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Okay. The actual addiction is not a substance, it's not a behavior, it's not an environment, it's not drugs, rock and roll, sex, it's not 7 softball teams 7 nights a week on 7 different teams. Those are the manipulators that fool your brain into releasing the real drug, the neurochemical that makes you feel altered. And it's an electrical current on your brain that creates a groove, and that actual groove from the electrical current is located on your lower brain, where your breathing's, the automatic functionings of your body, breathing, blinking, fight or flight, your subconscious, your dreams, that's where it's at. That's why you can't control it. And it takes a community, and it takes a counselor, and it takes something from outside of you in order to overcome that addiction. It can be done. But the step number 1 is realizing you can't do it by yourself. And the question is, back at you, Bill, is can you accept that you can't beat this by yourself and that you need help? That's the real question here.